The fact that I have to sit here and make a video as someone who's been a member for 12 years,
member of FaZe,
to get anyone's attention, to be taken seriously, is crazy to me. I've tried to solve this privately for years. For fucking years. The fact that I care this much and I'm not even a real owner. Everyone has made it very clear that I'm not an owner and I'm not even near any of the top dogs and I don't matter for shit. You've showed me over and over and over again that I do not mean shit to you all. How are you going to be the biggest organization in the world? Leaders in this scene, pushing this scene forward, pushing this industry forward, leading by example, and you can't even take care of your members that's been in for 12 fucking years. I've never claimed to be on Apex Bank's, Temper's, Reigns level, okay? I never claimed to be them. I never claimed to be an owner, a leader, any of that sort, okay? I know my place, and they've made it very sure what my place is. Like, I've never tried to get what they have. I've never tried to be them. Like, trust me, okay? I'm not delusional. It's this leading me on with fake promises, with just lies, and then never owning up to it, always blaming someone else. Do you want to hear something even crazier? The only contract I've ever had with FaZe, guess what contract that is? The only contract I ever had.
What's that?
Guess.
I have no idea.
The Tfue contract. It's the only contract I ever had with FaZe. As I was publicly defending FaZe on Twitter, everywhere, about that whole situation, I was in the same contract.
Oh, so, okay, so there's a little bit of context for this. So the contract right there with Tfue was that Tfue wanted to leave FaZe because FaZe was taking too much of his earnings. Yes, FaZe had him in a contract that 80% of, I don't know if it was his tournament winnings or some element of his revenue went back to FaZe. It was a lot. So, yeah.
Let that fucking sink in. I told them I need this contract terminated today or I'm going public with it. And they did terminate it, okay? But here's the thing. This is like 2019. Even at that point, no follow-up, no new deal, no new contract, no like, hey, we want to make this right. Nothing. I always thought I was just building, so I never asked.
So like this guy kept playing for the team and he kept trying to do, you know, the right thing and toe the company line, and then eventually, you know, something happened and I guess that he changed his mind.
Anything. But either you're going to include me with you guys, even at a smaller scale, at least do that, or pay me. Or pay me like any other fucking employee doing work for you.
Yeah.
Twice. I did the Champion collab photo shoot, and I have to go out at 7 in the morning to get pictures for the shoot the same day. For free, by the way, while you sell the drop for millions and millions and millions of dollars. You can't even pay me a little bit for the fucking photo shoot. It's just all this, like, where I always feel like I just owe you something. I just owe you something because it's such a fucking privilege to be in FaZe, right? I've been in this fucking gray zone where, like...
I think that this is one of the situations where each one of the individual occurrences is not, like, super bad, but he's been in the org for such a long time, it's probably built up over time. Just walk away. I mean, it's always easier to say what you should do whenever you're not in that situation.
I'm not the owners of these guys because, like, no, obviously I'm not nearly as important as these guys, but I'm also not getting paid for anything I'm doing. I'm just in the middle. Hey, you're a valuable member. Here's a contract. Nah, because it's such a fucking privilege to be in FaZe. I'm so fortunate to be in FaZe. I never asked for anything and I just said yes and yes and yes and did everything you ever asked for without ever asking for anything because I thought I was going to be included with y'all. Someone else can come in as late as last year who's not from this industry, never lifted a finger for FaZe, probably didn't even know what FaZe was, and get 3 times the amount of shares that I have and a monthly or annually salary that's more money than I've ever been paid from FaZe by a monthful. All of these years.
Yeah, that would suck. I mean, I could see that. Absolutely. I think he's probably talking about Snoop Dogg. Yeah, for sure. Which is like, I mean, you can see where he's coming from. It's like, I haven't seen Snoop Dogg really do much of anything for FaZe. So like whenever you're coming out and talking about, you know, like your situation and you're working, you feel like you're working for the org regularly, yeah, of course you're going to feel that way.
We always hear talent first, talent first. Talent is the most important thing. No, we're not. You've always showed us otherwise. You've always showed us that these recruits that you make, the celebrities who get more, like Snoop Dogg and his son has more money and more shares than a lot of FaZe members who were here from fucking day one. It's not even just about me at this point. There's so many people. Yes, Rain is right. For everyone that's saying Rain's tripping, Rainey's the only guy who has balls to speak up. He's the only one that's not letting them walk all over us because he cares about the brand. I care about the brand. And I'm not even a fucking owner like that. I don't own nothing compared to them. My opinion is not valid for these people. They don't give a fuck about me. I had to invest money in FaZe to even have any kind of part of it because they had given me nothing. I've been in FaZe for 9 years.
So he had to put money into the company to be invested into it. Yeah, that's quite a lot. Holy shit.
Point. And the first way in for me is me having to invest $50,000 of my own money. And even in that whole process, they fuck me over. So I'm asking you, this is not a video where I'm gonna I'm leaving FaZe. I'm asking you, am I in FaZe? Because I've been in for 12 years and you would think that someone that's been in for this long and have such history with you guys would have some kind of deal with you and a contract with you and incentive with you to move forward with you.
Yeah.
There's nothing for me at this point with FaZe. There's nothing. I don't have a salary. I don't have anything to work towards. I don't have no matter what I do, I don't make anything more from this point. There's nothing. So I guess you don't need me. I guess I'm not a valuable person then, you know? I'm just this small time. I should have just been lucky that I was even a part of it to begin with, right? I had over $100,000 in FaZe's bank when we bought the CSGO team. I did get the money back a year later, okay? So I'm not saying that. I did get my money back. You're just not gonna act that I wasn't a part of that I wasn't low-key one of the reasons we even got a CS team to begin with. And I'm not taking credit for making it happen at all. I had nothing to do with that. But if you don't feel like I was any kind of bridge, and I had $100,000 in a bank account, and I've been to more CS events than all of our owners combined. I give more fucks about that than all of our owners combined. They can't even make as much as a tweet when we win a major. Oh yeah, I care about this. Yeah, FaZe. No, you don't. I'm not even an owner and I care more than you do. I used to pay for my own flights to go to tournaments with the CS team. I used to take them out to dinner, pay for the dinner with my own money, and never ask for a reimbursement because I just wanted to represent FaZe the best way I could. I swear on everything. So I've done all—
That sucks, man. God damn, they screwed him. Yeah, I mean, it's. I'm not going to immediately say everything he's saying. I mean, because there's probably two sides to something, and they might not have they might have another way of looking at it, etc. So I'm not going to be everything that he says is 100% accurate, etc. But I think that the way he feels is, I mean, it's true to him, right? I mean, and I think that does count for something. Sure.
All these things. I never asked for anything because I always thought, no, I'm building. We're building. I'm a part of this. Even though I'm less. Again, yeah. I want to clarify it. I know I'm not the real owners, and I never tried to be. I'm never asked to be or never asked to get what they have. But holy fuck, it's disrespectful when you put it all together. FaZe Clan insisted in making the clothing with me, my merch drop and stuff like that, and I was like, you know what?
Yeah, I know that there's a lot of people in chat that are saying oh, well, this whole thing is his fault, and it's he caused this to happen, and it's oh, you should have left the contract, etc. I think that, again, it can be very easy to say something like that whenever you're not in the position, because you don't really understand the nuances of it, and kind of what, how he thought things would go, and people get strung along for something, and it's hard to really know is this the right decision or not.
It makes sense. We'll do it together. It's a good split. We'll make it in-house. They fuck up the design and the manufacture process, and then I have to go on Twitter to find out that these people haven't received their hoodies 2 months later, and I don't even get as much as an apology. And some of those people got the wrong hoodies because you put the wrong print on. After that, I obviously don't want to do clothing in-house with FaZe anymore, so I do it by myself. Sure. I pay for the designs myself. I found a manufacturer myself. Everything, okay? I do everything myself. I didn't ask FaZe for a single thing. I get my own website, tico.com, pay for it, everything. And then they still contact me trying to get 20% of my profits without ever doing anything, no design, no help with nothing. They're still trying to take 20% off my clothing drops and my merch drops and my rug drops because I'm in FaZe. You did nothing for me. If anything, you were the one that pushed me away. I wanted to make it with you guys, and you couldn't deliver. In a way, FaZe is bigger than it ever was, but it's also smaller than it ever was. All of these collabs that we were doing with really, really big brands, you know what it is to me? All of these collabs that's coming out, it's like Band-Aid or silver tape on internal bleeding. That's the way I see it. And they think talent don't matter. They think that we don't matter because they think that they can do everything because they see the FaZe logo as the Nike logo and they can just do whatever they want.
I think that, I mean, obviously FaZe has a lot of clout and they've always had a lot of clout, but that's not something that always lasts forever. And you can't really treat people like they're expendable or something like that and then do that for an indefinite period of time and not have there be some sort of negative impact of it.
There's no depth to it. There's no substance there. There's nothing behind that FaZe logo backing it. There's no culture.
Isn't he violating NDA? Well, I have no idea if he is or not. I mean, if they sue him, it'll just make him look worse, etc. So it's like, of course he's going to say something like this. He's got nothing to lose, really.
That's what these people don't understand. So I'm asking you right now, once again, since you claim to be the biggest org in the world, you know, the leader in the space, pushing this whole community forward, leading by example, am I in FaZe or not? Because if I'm not, I would like to see a statement that I'm not anymore, and I'm cool with it. Trust me, I can stand on my own two legs. I have a very fucking good community. I'm not worried about that at all. You need people like me more than I need you. And I know you guys don't think that. You're probably laughing, oh, we don't need him. You'll be surprised. You need people like me in FaZe. I don't need you. If I'm not in anymore, please make a statement. Let everyone know how you dropped me. I'm cool with that. Let everyone know you dropped me. I can't believe I had to make this video. I can't believe I had to sit here and say all these things. Because you would never take me seriously. And you never gave two fucks about me. Because apparently I bring zero value to you. You've showed me over and over and over again how I do not mean shit to you. And I'm fully ready to lose it all. I'm fully ready to lose all these relationships. I'm fully ready for these people to hate me and never speak to me again. I'm fully ready to lose out on money. Who knows what's gonna happen? At least I can go to bed and I can wake up and keep my head straight knowing I did the fucking right thing and I fucking stood up for something. I didn't just let these fucking people walk all over me with all these lies. We're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. But in reality, they're just paying their buddy more money than majority of talent has ever fucking seen, who was here for fucking day one.
Well, that's a pretty interesting way to end it. I do have to say that with a lot of these things, there are going to be two sides to each story. And maybe FaZe has a side that explains kind of their perspective. But I hadn't watched this video before, so I figured I'd take a look at it and watch it before I looked at the Ludwig one. Because this is actually what he said, rather than just, you know, looking at a couple of clips, etc.
I wasn't going to make this video about FaZe and all the recent drama they got into, because honestly, I feel like we talked enough about FaZe and their failing stock. But I went to my personal trainer this morning, and he brought the drama up to me. And this guy does not watch any Twitch or YouTube. So I figured you guys might also be curious. Let's talk about FaZe, which always starts with how they're not really phasing the fuck up with their stock price. That's just not phasing the fuck up at all. They are less.
Well, yeah, the stock has gone down a lot. I mean, that's not really a surprise. I feel like that stock, like, I mean, there's the stock in the mind of the viewer. Or not viewer, but like the mind of an investor, the mind of anybody that wants to put money into it. Like, FaZe is built a lot off of esports. And it's obviously like personalities too. It's not just esports, but it's mainly an esports org. And the truth is, like, a lot of companies are reevaluating like how important esports really even are.
Less than 50 cents right now. They're worth about $31 million, even though a year ago
they were worth $1 billion.
About $400 million, at least according to Forbes. Now, I think honestly all these numbers could have one digit sliced off and it'd be a little more accurate. But the fact remains that if you go to any random person on the street and you ask what FaZe is, there's a high chance they know. And if you ask what TSM is, they might think you're trying to sell them a multi-level marketing scam.
Yeah.
But I feel like FaZe is not what they used to be. Now,
well, FaZe has been, like, the thing is, FaZe has been around for so long. Like, they've been around longer than pretty much almost any other esports org. And especially, like, relevant esports orgs. FaZe has stood around for, it's been easily over 10 years, like almost 15 years, something like that. So, of course, more people are going to know about them.
I was a kid, all right? After freshman, sophomore year in high school, I would want to go home and play Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 and shoot clips like FaZe Fakey Got Game. But I feel like that's not what they are anymore. And I feel like that point was driven across really well by FaZe Tico. Now, he's a long-time content creator for FaZe. He's been a creator for 10 years. I'm not really sure if he's still with FaZe, but to be fair, he doesn't even know if
yeah,
he's
I don't
still
think
with
he knows
FaZe,
either.
because he doesn't have a contract with them anymore. In fact, the last contract he had was the same exact contract that Tfue had. The one that like takes 80% of all of your profits. That's what he was on.
Not a
so
good
he got
one.
out of that, but they didn't give him a new one. But they still ask him to do shoots and stuff with FaZe. And then he was also given no ownership, even though
So he's in FaZe limbo, where he's in the org, but there's no contract that he's in the org.
dedicated the bulk of his life to growing FaZe as a brand. And he was, I think, rightfully upset in this video, talking about how it's weird that Snoop Dogg has percentage in the company, even though all he does is smoke a little bit of weed, phase up once a year, and then get a lot of money for that. It seems a little unfair, and it doesn't...
Well, it is. And I know that you can easily say, oh, well, of course, right? It's Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg. Everybody knows Snoop Dogg. But, like, what is the real benefit of that? Like, yeah, okay, all right, that's cool. But, like, what's the dollar value of this? Nothing, right? And so, at the end of the day, it looks bad whenever there's somebody who is a celebrity and they're getting a bunch of money for just being a celebrity and occasionally mentioning the brand. Because I remember whenever Snoop Dogg, like, joined FaZe or got involved with FaZe or whatever you want to call it, and that was the last time I ever heard about it.
Seem to reward the people who are actually making FaZe what FaZe is, which is a good question.
Yeah.
What is FaZe? Like, if you had to explain to an Uber driver what FaZe is, what would you say? I think there are a few things. They're an esports team, like org. They have competitors, most notably Atlanta FaZe, and their CS:GO team, which is really good. They're also like a talent agency with a bunch of creators under it. They're also a brand that collabs with people like Champion or Nissan or Manchester City, McDonald's, or even Nike. And then they're also like a content team, like they make their own in-house content. But I don't know. A few of those businesses seem to be more distractions than actual good ideas. But they are all of those things. But I got curious after watching FaZe Tico's video. Who owns FaZe? Like, I think we know who the owners are. You know, you got Banks and Temper and Rain. But who actually owns it? And so I found the top 25 shareholders of FaZe.
Okay, here we go.
Now, these first couple are part of the SPAC, the people who basically made FaZe have the ability to go public, which makes sense. You trade off percentage of your company in exchange for the ability to go public.
Yeah.
But Michael Treschow wasn't really familiar. All right. Lee Trink, that's the CEO. But Hubrig Limited, who's that? In fact, the only person who I know to be an owner, FaZe Apex, Youssef, is the only person on this list. I don't see FaZe Banks on here. I don't see
I
FaZe
don't see
Temper.
any of them.
I don't know. Maybe they bought it through some shell company, but
that's probably what
where
happened.
are their shares, right? Even they don't have much in this company, it seems. So I did a little digging, and I found out that FaZe has a very messy past. A very messy past. And I feel like the story is not
This
all
is
the
news,
way out
guys.
there. I feel like it's always mentioned by disgruntled former FaZe members about how, oh, we got screwed over here, or this went bad there. But reading through, seems like they've been screwed over 10 ways to Sunday, and they've given up pretty much all the ownership of their company over the past 10 years. Mostly because it was run by, you know, inexperienced kids who had way too much power.
Holy fuck.
And unfortunately gave it away. But this one story, I feel like paints the picture really well. So this is 2016. Let's go back. We're going back 7 years now. And there's this app called Hubrik, a Norwegian business app that's supposed to change social media. It's run by this guy named Sebastian. So he convinces FaZe that they should merge together and that it's a great idea and that he'll give $10 million to this new entity, this new combination of Norwegian app in FaZe Clan. They agree. They agree. They even get some funding from this guy named Michael Treshow, who's like some old ass dude who just happens to have a lot of money. Turns out this guy's mostly a con man. This guy was saying they were going to revolutionize apps and destroy Twitter, and that's how we got the money from Michael, and that's how we convinced FaZe to join them. None of that really was true. Hubrik was a dying social media app.
That's a lot of fuck-ups in a row. God damn. Yeah, that's really bad.
The merger still happened, and that got Hubrik a lot of shares in the company. Now, there's probably way more details about this, but when we get down to it, Michael, the guy who invested the money, now owns 7% of FaZe, and then Hubrik owns, or I guess Sebastian owns 3.3%, which is almost as much as the CEO.
That's a lot.
Fun fact, he was supposed to own 15%, but they hit him with the Mark Zuckerberg. They literally made his shares get diluted because they gave a bunch of shares to other people. So, so that's just one of probably
just issue new shares.
Dozens
Problem
of stories
solved.
of FaZe getting into bed with someone who's a mischievous actor who fucks them over, takes some percentage of the company, and then uses that percentage to, I don't know, make money, drive this shit into the ground.
Yeah.
If you even look at their board of directors, none of these names are recognizable to me, with the exception of a one Calvin Snoop Dogg. Why is Snoop Dogg on the board of directors, but I don't...
That's a good question. His name is Calvin? Bro, Snoop Dogg's name is Calvin? I had no idea.
See a single one of the original members on here.
Damn.
The average age of this board of directors is like 50.
Uh-huh.
What the fuck do these guys know about how to run an esports org? Well, I think we know the answer based off the stock price. They know jack fucking shit.
I actually don't think that the stock price of FaZe is entirely because of FaZe. I think that esports was a massive, like, bubble that people kept putting money into because they thought that it was going to turn into the next NFL or NBA. And just now, I think that after, like, the whole NFT and, like, crypto boom, people are going back and reevaluating what they've been spending their money on. And they see something like FaZe and esports, and they're like, okay, well, how many more years are we going to have to just invest money into this for it to actually pay off? Yeah, they were speculating, exactly. And eventually speculation either comes to term or it doesn't. And it feels like with a lot of esports stuff, it hasn't been coming to term.
And then you might be wondering, well, where are the original founding members? Where do they get their money? Well, it's kind of written here in their SEC filings. During the years 2021 and 2020, the company had a retainer, a consulting agreement with the original founders, and they paid them, and this is over a 6-month period, $0.7 million and then $0.9 million. And then they did the same thing in 2022, and I don't know if they still do it, but they're basically just paying them to be advisors, and they're paying the group millions a year. So that's where they're getting their share. But it seems like they have no percentage to give out anymore. So I understand FaZe Tico's frustration, but at this point, he's just arguing with a bunch of 50-year-olds in a room trying to figure out how the fuck to make this
That's a good point, yeah. It's like it's probably out of their hands already. The people that he's talking to are probably not the people that can actually make the decisions, as you can see with the ownership chart. Absolutely. So, yeah, that sucks.
Work when they have no actual idea, because the company is supposed to be hip, modern, and create culture. And 50-year-olds, I'm sorry, they're just not going to be creating gaming culture. They're just not. They're just not going to do that.
Yeah,
and now it seems like we're at a bit of a standstill, because FaZe is entering a bit of a doomsday scenario.
Uh-oh.
They're going to announce their earnings and their financial results for Q4, March 30th, 2023, which will be very revealing. And I don't think the numbers will be very good.
Probably not.
And that's a bit bad because, according to NASDAQ rules, any company that fails to be above $1 for 30 consecutive days might be delisted. Now, they do get...
They might, which can... That doesn't mean that it's not exactly going to happen. But, yeah.
6 months from the day they go under $1 to turn things around. but we're already, I think, 2 months into this 6-month period.
I don't think it's going to turn around. I think you could see the stock improving a bit, but going back over $1, it's very hard to say. Because, like, what value are they really providing? How are they providing value? Like, what's the business plan? How are they going to make money? You know, like, that's ultimately what it comes down to.
And they've only gone down since then.
Yeah.
So it's looking a bit tough. They are also, according to this article, on a fast track to run out of...
And it's like, just to contextualize it, at its peak, FaZe stock was like $15 or something like that, and now it's 50 cents. Like, really, really, like, woo! Massive drop.
Money. They've never been profitable and rely heavily on external investment. They have 43.9 million, or at least they did, as of September 2022, which is only enough to fund operations until November 2023. They're burning through, it sounds like, 40 mil a year? Maybe more? That's crazy. On what?
Well, they're probably paying a bunch of people large salaries. They have a lot of infrastructure. There's buildings, and then there's also the esports funds. And then also there could be franchising fees as well for being part of these different leagues. And yes, old Calvin's getting his cut too. True.
What? On
yep,
FaZe
30 mil to
casting
Calvin, easy.
Contest? Millions of dollars for what? 200 viewers on Twitch? Most of you guys have never even seen the show I'm talking about unless you saw my mogul mail about it. So that's where FaZe is at right now. Honestly, I don't know what'll happen. They have a very recognizable brand, but that only goes so far. You also have to have a company behind it in some sort of ethos. And I feel like none of the board of directors, who collectively have prostates the size of a watermelon, know what the fuck to do with it. But I know what to do with FaZe. Simple. Beat their ass. That's it, baby.
Yep.
We got to kick them while they are down. The late, great FaZe clan is going up against Moist Moguls today. And look, all right, although FaZe is going downhill a little bit, they're still the big dogs in this fight. They still got $40 million in the bank.
Yep.
And what do we got? We got Ludwig and we got Moist Critical, who have put their money and minds together to create one of the best Valorant teams of all time. And this is one of the most important games that we will have all year, because if we win, we get to go to the midseason invitational, where the top 8 teams and challengers will all compete for big points and maybe some big money. So anyway, tune in. This happens very soon. It might be even live right now. Go support Moist Moguls. I'd appreciate it by watching the co-stream. There should be a link in the top right corner if you have Truffle. If not, we'll just go over to my stream, and hopefully we beat FaZe. And maybe if we beat them, we get phasing up. That's our thing now.
To be fair, phase up is a really, really good hand sign. Like, I've got to say, it's so good.
Take that from them. If they ever go bankrupt, we're taking phasing up.
They
anyway,
won? Wait, who won? Moist is crushing. Oh, wait. So they won? Holy shit.
They're going to go under? Are they going to turn it around? Maybe they'll get someone who actually knows what they're doing as CEO. Or not CEO, but board director. I don't know. Maybe Lee's good. I don't know. Anyway, see you later. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. Goodbye. Hopefully we beat FaZe today. If we don't, this is going to be a really awkward video.
Yeah, it will be.
Surely we do, though.
Holy fuck. They're winning right now? I know. Holy fuck. Let's see here. I'll go ahead and I'll link this right now. It's live right now. Last round. Okay, I'll pull it up and take a look at it real quick. Okay, guys?
Doesn't matter how close, an inch or a mile, a win is a win, and FaZe need every possible win here on out.
So FaZe is 7.
Austin's out the Nightfall. Not a whole lot garnered for that one. Smokes are out, and the site is taken.
First to 13.
Baby Bay just gets spared.
Okay, well then FaZe can come back. FaZe is gonna come back, bro. They're gonna come back.
Close it out right here, right now, as Rossi's next up, but it's Thief to fall. The rest of the team fall behind him, and Flying a Proto have to get it done. Look at the health, though. There's absolutely none left. Supa goes aggressive, but that will do it. Moist Moguls have done it in 2 maps. They take down FaZe. All aboard the Moist Locomotive. Next stop, the mid-season face-off.
Wow, what a time to tune in.
And they make it after a slow
Holy shit.
start of the split. The
Damn.
last two victories that absolutely made a difference, especially
Yeah, what timing?
this one. That has to feel
Holy
good for
fuck,
Moist.
man.
In 2 maps as well that they take down FaZe.
Oh my god.
And it honestly, it felt so long, it felt
Damn.
so back and forth, but yeah, the patience was always there. So,
Well,
so good for Moist. I think the improvement is the team
Fuck.
that has made
I mean, short FaZe, I mean, that sucks for them. I mean, it definitely does. But it's like, again, like FaZe has been, like, they've been involved in like so many controversies, so much drama, so much stuff like that that's happened over the years. And it's like, it's not like it's just been one or two things. There have been like 5 things every year, and it's been happening for years. So yeah, and like at the end of the day, I just don't think that, and even they said this, like Ludwig and Moist Critical said, like, you know, that like esports just don't make a lot of money, period.